Hi everyone, welcome back to the Dahlia Society. My name's Kristen and I'm here to hopefully inspire you all about creating your own wardrobe, fabrics, and especially for today, brand new pattern releases for the month of July. And I am pretty chilly at the moment. We're in the middle of winter, and of course a lot of these are very summery makes, summery sews, but you know, there's a few things in here that could be great for layering. It's really hard when you're in the opposite season and you're trying to look through patterns. It could maybe be something you could make to wear right at this moment. But if you're like me and you're like starting to think about sewing maybe a season or so ahead, it can be great inspiration. Maybe you've got a diary there, you list your things that you want to make for next season as well. So it's always really lovely to have a bit of inspo. And if you've got a grey and gloomy day like we have here today, it's always nice to think about a bit of sunshine coming up in the future. And today I'm wearing a very cozy make. This is my new Itch to Stich Orono top that I made with this beautiful Euro cable knit that we still have in store. There's quite a few colours there, and I have worn this to death already. It's really cuddly and cozy, and Mum got a lot of love on her pink one that she's already worn heaps as well. So I'll put some pictures up on the website of her wearing that, and she just feels fantastic in that. So a really lovely fabric to sew with as well. So yeah, lots of new things happening in the sewing world. There's a bit of controversy as well with a pattern, a couple of patterns actually. I've got some really exciting news to tell you about with the online store. We are getting a very exciting brand in all the way from France, some patterns that I think you're going to love, and they are from French Poetry Patterns. And yeah, Blandine and I have been chatting, and I really think you guys would love her paper patterns, because the great thing is she has increased her size range. So a lot of their paper patterns, you'll see there's 2 different size ranges in, which is fantastic, because I had looked at this dress in the past and thought it was a magnificent looking dress, but the size range wasn't great. So it's so good to see that she's extended that, which is fantastic. A lot of the other patterns there are only in the 1 size range, but they're all starting to, I think she's starting to kind of go through most of her patterns and update them there. But those patterns will be coming in the next month or so. So I'll put a nice order in. I think you guys are going to love when you see how exquisite the pattern envelopes are. And also another big delivery coming in from the very popular pattern company Cassidy Patterns from France as well. And that's great to see that they are updating. A lot of their patterns will be in not just in French but in English as well. So it will help you guys if you find translating a bit tedious. It's pretty easy to do, especially if you've got a phone that can do it for you. But yeah, it's great to see a lot of the patterns are now in English too. So to get started, I am going to talk about the Helens Closet Duo that's been released. Now, a wonderful 2 pieces that you can buy separately or wear as a set. I think that's fantastic, because if you're like me and you've got a lot of separates, it's always nice to be able to put maybe a top to go with a pair of pants you already have. But the Cassidy wrap top and the pants are called the June pants or shorts, are a beautiful woven pattern. Now the wrap top, the Cassidy wrap top, can be made in a short sleeve or a long sleeve, which is fantastic. In any kind of lightweight woven fabric, it looks beautiful in viscose and in things like cotton and linen as well. And the pants are a wonderful wide leg elasticated, very breezy style pant, and these are available in sizes 6 to 34. So they look beautiful as a set, and Helen always does such a great job. I really enjoy seeing diverse, not just sizes in models, but ages as well, and I think it's great that she does that so well. So she's really great at making a wearable pattern that you can really dress up or down depending on the fabric that you choose. Another new release from the lovely French brand I Am Patterns, and that's another pattern brand we'll be stocking very shortly as well, because I've been talking to another Blandine actually and her sisters that run that beautiful company, and the I Am Patterns range is fantastic. So I'm trying to get a lot more range in patterns for you guys to choose from, and I know that you do love the French patterns. Now the Marty dress looked very appealing to me. It's a beautiful swishy long button through shirt style dress. You can make this in 150 different options. How fantastic is that? So I love that you can be given so much inspiration and look at all the line drawings and see exactly what you want. The fact that you don't need to put a collar on if you want to leave the collar off and have a mandarin style collar, it looks beautiful. Sleeves or sleeveless, you know, top length or dress length. There are so many options, and it's a great wearable looking pattern. Size range on the PDF is 34 to 52. I think her paper pattern size range goes to a 46, but the PDF one is extended there. So 150 versions is brilliant, and I really do love a good shirt style dress. Really think her patterns are unique, and I love how she releases things in collection style, so you can really see the thought and inspiration behind every collection she's put out there. And that is a team of sisters that run that business, I Am Patterns, which is wonderful as well. So I think Blandine is having a baby, so she might be on maternity leave at the moment, but yeah, her sisters are running things for her there. So love speaking to those ladies, and very exciting things coming out of I Am Patterns. Now, another big hyped up, very exciting release is from Fabric Godmother, and they have released a pattern. They've always done fabrics, so now they are adding to their store with having PDF patterns. So it's not paper, just PDF only, but their beautiful new dress release is the Peony. The dress comes in sizes 6 to 30. It's a long line, I'd say probably ankle, not quite ankle length, just above, just a bit longer than a midi. But yeah, really lovely style with that frill around the bottom and the frill around the sleeve. A nice long slimline dress with like an invisible zip in the back. So quite a straight style dress, but really great for showing off a printed fabric or something that you don't want to break up a pattern with. There's darts for a bit of shaping there as well. So a really quite a simple dress, but lovely for showcasing a beautiful fabric. Now, the lovely Jasmine from Sewing Patterns by Mason has released a really pretty dress called the Daphne dress, and she has designed this with the series Bridgerton in mind and named it after the character Daphne. And it's a Regency style dress with a beautiful puff sleeve and that very straight across, quite firm bust line, like an empire line dress. So beautiful and floaty and long. And I think a lot of people are loving this simplicity of this style because, you know, looking back through history, a lot of the elements you'll see in dresses that people will pick and choose things that they've liked. The fact that she's used that bodice is just very reminiscent of that Bridgerton style and those beautiful puff sleeves. So her patterns are really well thought out and drafted, and she does a wonderful job there. So size range on the Daphne dress is 8 to 28, and I think it would look beautiful in a lovely swishy visco style fabric. Now, there's been a lot of hype around a certain pattern release from Closet Core Patterns, the Joe dress and jumpsuit, and there has been a lot of people saying it's very it's pretty much a direct copy of a designer dress that I will list in the comments below. I really feel that it's very hard to put ownership on things like patterns and designers. I think through history you'll see a lot of people redesigning things and maybe getting inspiration from certain styles. I just really feel that if you really start nitpicking apart every single pattern that's released or certain style elements, I think we are going to be in a very hard place as sewers in the sewing community because there are so many similar styles around and so many different elements taken from one pattern to another. It's just so many patterns that are very similar when you start looking around where do you draw the line to say. So I really think this is a gorgeous pattern, and I really wish Closet Core all the best because they do such a wonderful job in the sewing community, and I think Heather Lou is just so great at what she does. And yeah, really takes a lot of care and puts everything into her pattern designing. I think it's very hard to say someone's completely copied a pattern because, as I say, throughout history, a lot of styles have been rehashed over the years, and every 20 years things come around again, and there are direct copies of a lot of designer dresses too. So I think this is a beautiful pattern, and it's the croissant style sleeve I think people are wowing at. It's a really unique curved style sleeve, that beautiful deep front as well, V front, and the fact that it can be made in a dress or a jumpsuit is also very unique. The size range on this is 0 to 32, and I really do love Closet Core Patterns. I think they do a wonderful job, and I really love the way they market their patterns and the fabrics they use and the modelling. It's very, very well done, and one of my favourite pattern companies. The other pattern release of the month was for Tilly the Buttons, the AEST set. Not a favourite look of mine. I think that there's been so many of that particular pattern done over and over again as well. Look, even to me personally, I have already got the Pattern Emporium and make the cami style top the same way, and maybe their Vacation Vibes pants, which would be very similar to that. So I wouldn't be buying the AEST because I can do so much with what I've already got, and I can rehash things, to make that exact copy set. So if you're going to be looking at Closet Core Patterns copying patterns, you could say the same thing for Tilly the Buttons. So I don't think we should be looking too much and delving too deeply into designers copying each other because it's been done over and over again. My biggest gripe was the way that the pants fit on the plus size model. I think that they really did a disservice to the plus size sewing community for putting that pattern envelope out there and then more or less saying, you know, if you want a better fit on the pant, we rushed it through, but you can get a better fit by doing a full tummy adjustment yourself. To me, that's really it's really let down a lot of the plus size sewing community because who wants to buy a pattern that they're going to have to pretty much pick apart and redesign again themselves to get it to fit right. So a bit disappointed there with the way that was rushed out. I can really give full credit to companies that do take their time and not rush patterns out, really think them through. I was listening to Carolyn and Helen on Love to Sew, and I know that Carolyn is releasing Blackbird patterns to go with her fabrics, and she has had a lot of trouble with releasing her latest pattern because she wasn't happy with the fit. She took it back to the drawing board and she's essentially starting from scratch. So when you see that professionalism as someone that's very dedicated to getting everything right, I can really admire that instead of rushing a release out, get every aspect right for every for both models, not just the smaller size model, get the plus size model looking up to scratch as well, because that to me shouldn't have passed through the way it did to be unprinted. And of course, no one's saying the model wasn't beautiful because she was absolutely stunning. That had nothing to do with it. The fact that a lot of plus size sewers want to sew things because they can't get the fit right in store, it's really disappointing to see something like that rushed through and not taken back to the drawing board. So that's just my 2 cents, my opinion there. But I know a lot of people have loved the SD pattern and gone ahead and bought it. But there was a lot of talk about that over on Instagram that I've been reading and taking in a lot of comments. And there was one comment from, I think it was Gin and Tunic. She actually said, you know, if a cooking recipe had been done for a cake and a cake had been sent out burnt, would you have then gone ahead and said, oh, we had to rush it through and you can just overlook the fact that it's burnt and the other cake's fine, but that you'll have to overlook the burnt one. We really probably should have taken more time. It wouldn't have gone ahead. It really would have been taken back to the drawing board then and there. So, yeah, you've got to look at it like that. I think it's a bit disappointing. But anyway, let's move on. The next pattern that I've seen that looks stunning is a very gorgeous looking retro style jumpsuit pattern from Deer and Doe, and it is the eucalyptus jumpsuit. It is gorgeous in the wide long leg. I love it with the short sleeve. They've listed the collar as being a Cuban inspired kind of, you know, collar, which is like a camp style collar, I think you'd say. The size range of that is 34 to 60. It's a really lovely either shorts jumpsuit romper style or long leg. So very more of a dressy style jumpsuit, which is lovely to see because there's so many different dungarees and casual style jumpsuits. So this one you could really glam up. It's got a bit of a 1940s look to it as well, I think, with that fabric they've used. A gorgeous pattern from Deer and Doe Patterns, which I do love. There was another dress released last month that I didn't get to as well. It's from Grainline Studios, very popular pattern company. This is called the Austin dress. It is a lovely swishy dress for the nice hot weather. The sort of sleeveless style cutout sleeve. You can make it in sizes 0 to 32, which is fabulous. It's a nice simple dress, but what I love is the button detail along the sides. It really adds something a bit extra to the pattern. And I really love that keyhole front as well on there. So it's a really lovely pattern that I think you could definitely dress up for winter and do some layering with as well. And of course, the new release from Pattern Emporium, which was the Chasing Butterflies Batwing top. We had a great response to that. So thank you so much if you went ahead and purchased that through the affiliate link that I had, because it really does help support the channel. And I know Mum's actually in the midst of making one herself in the Artscape fabric that we've got in store, because she saw mine and she thought she needed one herself. It's just so simple, pretty much 2 pieces to put it together and whatever neckline you choose. So it's a lovely, easy wear knit pattern to make all year through. And another pattern I've just seen recently on Adele from Sofa Serenity, she popped a pic up of herself on Instagram and I straight away thought, what a gorgeous, gorgeous dress. It does remind me a bit of the lowest dress from Sewciety Patterns, but it has more of a kind of grown-on style kimono sleeve. It's called, the pattern company is called Seasons of East Patterns, and it's called Summer in New York. It's a really lovely, long, simple line dress, kind of midi length, very deep plunging V-neck, and those grown-on sleeves. So it's a really lovely one for showing off a fabric, and she had it in that beautiful Lady McElroy Dip in the Lake fabric, which looked stunning on her. Size range in these patterns is 8 to 26, and they've also got a couple more patterns. I think they've got Summer in London and Autumn in London, some other beautiful dresses as well. So a fairly new pattern company with some great looking dress patterns out there. I think you guys are going to love that one. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on the new patterns for July. I will have a new episode coming out for next week with things that I want to try to make. There's a few patterns that I have listed that I would like to sew up, and I know realistically I'm not going to get through them all, but I do have a little list of fabrics and pattern pairings I've put together. I've also got a dress that I have want to make for a wedding, so that will be happening in the next few weeks as well. So that's really exciting to have some plans coming out. Now, all the bespoke boxes that had sold very, very quickly was the Jewel of the Nile theme for the seasonal box for July. They have all been posted out, and I know a lot of them have already arrived, which is wonderful. So it's so good to hear your comments on those. And the regular bespoke box, which will be happening on July 16th, I think from memory. It's the 3rd July, 3rd Sunday in July this month, because we had the seasonal release. That one's been pushed back a little bit, but it will be a very fun 60s theme, which is called Midday Mimosas. So a mid-century modern box. So a 60s style mod theme box. So I think it's going to be really gorgeous. Yeah, a nice fun box for July. So very exciting things happening. I've got a birthday happening on Thursday. I'll be turning 51. I was about to say 31. I wish, but no, I'll be turning 51 on Thursday, so I'm going to be having a nice day out with the family and maybe heading out for the weekend. We'll have to see how we go, because I really would love to head into the city to see the Rocky Horror Theatre show, which I've seen, many, many years ago. But there is, I think Jason Donovan might be finishing up there this weekend, so I would really love to see him as Frankenfurter. So hopefully we might get into the city for that. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week. Let me know in the comments your favourite pattern from July, and I will see you all very shortly for another episode. Bye for now.